I like to dedicate this video to my son, Robert. I like to tell him that I love him very much and that if things have been different, that I wish that things have been different in terms of what ultimately happened. I want to tell him that I miss him very much and that I just want him to know that he is very much missed and that if anything, that things could have been different and that hopefully one day that he will get the full story and understand exactly what happened. On to the reading. Before I get to the reading, I wanted to focus on um, what's going on with the Breonna Taylor situation and um, the Floyd situation. Clearly, we can see that certain life has no value. And so, with that being understood, something has to change. But clearly, up to this point, if you study the law and you watch the news and the policing and the laws such as the Dred Scott case back during the 1800s that's affecting certain people today. The fact of dealing with education, where education's going. There was a school in Baltimore that I worked at called the Augusta Fell Savage School of Visual Arts off of Cary Street. The area is called Harlem Park in Baltimore City. There was supposed to be some kind of case recently that was supposed to have been on the news that one of my colleagues had shared with me. And so the understanding was there was an individual who had graduated, and I believe that they cannot read or write. Regardless of what happens with that case, you could times that by another 100,000, another 75,000 individuals who are not properly prepared for the competitive global village that we're now living in. And that's what these videos are all about. In my particular case, and how I'm asking the Lord to work in my case, is that even if I could do something in a way that I know that I am motivated and directed by what I call the Supreme Being, and that even if I was just able to do my part in reference to my purpose, I'd be willing to get out the way and let someone else run things. Because from my vantage point, I know technically as one person, and then what my background has been up to today, there's nothing I can do. And that it is clearly an impossibility until you get the Supreme Being involved. And the thing about the Supreme Being is that the Supreme Being, which we call God, uh, that entity is able to do anything. He will make an impossibility probable, not even probable, a guarantee. And so that's where I find myself at right now. What can I do? Where can I find my purpose? What is my true walk? Is it to be competitive, like musical chairs? Or is it a situation where I can truly be creative and know that there's a potential aspect that I'm both anointed and I do have a seal on me? So I'm going to keep doing these videos. I'm going to still keep focused on what I want to do. Ultimately, my objective, if at all possible and it happens, is that I would like to create a school like none other. And this school will be constructed in such a way that, believe it or not, it will be a nation within a nation, protected by a religious authority, protected by the First Amendment, which is to honor and to acknowledge the God that you feel that will protect you. Just like, for example, when I lived in Baltimore over by this place called Pikesville, and I lived there 10 years, that was a decade nearly. I remember there were what's called Jewish schools. And under their religion, or whatever that you may call that, they had schools that they taught their young people. And though other races could attend those schools, at the end of the day, they protected their own. Something similar like the Amish. So I've been studying for many, many years. And so what I found out also too is that one man with God is a majority. And if you look at the expression on my face, this is no joke. This is not something I consider laughable, because I have seen where I've had an individual who I've tested that tested in between pre-K and first grade, and they're closer to pre-K. That means this individual will not even know how to interview properly, doesn't even know what it takes to be able to take care of him or herself. And it doesn't matter if it is not your child. So I'm going to get to the reading. The center of consciousness. The kingdom of heaven is the center of consciousness. The kingdom of heaven is that place of utter calm and serenity within the depths of your soul, where your eye becomes fused with the immortal eye of all creation. The key is, it is only when you accept and understand certain perfect steps that you find out that habits of positive thinking, firmly ingrained, strongly built, will sustain you no matter the height of the seas, the strength of the tempest, or the fury of the storm. Peace, be still, will be your order, and the seas will abate in the face of your faith through your thought, therefore through your conviction. Know your center of consciousness, retreat into it, and your time of meditation until you know. And that's the process that's happening with me. The process I'm at right now is that waiting period, which sometimes can feel kind of numbing. In the beginning, it feels like it's not going to happen. But when you maintain that faith, you know you're on board. And you know that God hears all your prayers in expectation. And that's when you relax, because you find out it's not your doing this. It's not you running here, running there, hoping that someone will see this. Someone will give you a chance. Someone will open up a door. Someone will say, hey, it's okay. Someone will rubber stamp what you're doing. That's not how it truly goes down. And see, in my situation, I had everything removed. Everything. Except my life. And then to recognize that the only person that can take my life or call me home or my purpose is done is God. No one else can do that. Here is the place where all things in this world and the next are done. And once having arrived at it, there can be no terror or fear or disquiet for you ever again. Remember the center of consciousness. The kingdom of heaven is the place where you become the observer, where even thoughts are things to be observed. It is a place of complete calm and quiet, a place of absolute sureness, a place of communion with the universal subconscious mind that we also call God. First cause. We have said a good deal about all first causes being mental and everything being created on the plane of mind. We have said that each of us has no responsibility other than for his thoughts and his beliefs. And so the modern day Sadducees and Pharisees come to us and say, man is a builder and a doer with his hands. And it is falsehood to say that man can achieve anything by taking thought. Or perhaps you have confided to a friend that in your meditations you are treating yourself for some particular goal, and your friend has said, what foolishness, what stupidity. You are dumb. You're definitely stupid. If you, after what they have said to you, are then quitting, then at the end of the day, you were not sincere in what you were supposed to be doing, because this walk is a serious walk. And many a man on the right track has been led off the path by such false counsel or comments. Nobody achieves anything by going out and getting it. Let me say that again. I need to hear that. Nobody achieves anything by going out and getting it. The very premise insinuates at the outset that he believes whatever he is after belongs to somebody else and he has to take it away. When a man has created on the plane of mind the conviction that whatever he is after is already his, he will be guided in the proper paths and in the proper action that will achieve his goal. Action of itself produces nothing. Action of itself produces nothing. Action of itself produces nothing. There is true action and there is false action. False action will not remove a molehill, while true action will dissolve a mountain. True action is neither more nor less than true thought, for action follows thought. If your thought is true and your action will be impeccably guided by the subconscious mind. If your thought is true, your action will be impeccably guided by the subconscious mind. How to use your will. Got to get that one. We have previously raised cautions against willing things to happen on the premise that will is usually directed at overcoming physical objects and circumstances, which may very well be part of a perfect plan by which universal mind is guiding you to your destination. The danger of exercising will to achieve specific things is that of isolating yourself from the power for good which you have invoked. On the other hand, you have called upon the power with faith and conviction. On the other, by the exercise of will, you may easily deny it or set it to working in another direction. Consequently, all effort should be at attunement with universal mind. That means making a clear connection, at arriving at a point of consciousness where you have complete faith and trust that the infinite power of universal intelligence will deliver to you the image of your faith. Any subsequent attempt to direct your will at the circumstances that come your way is an imposition on the path of universal intelligence. You are not bigger than God. I am not bigger than God. You are not bigger than God. Willing against a plan by which he is delivering your desires will abrogate, meaning it will stop that plan at once and set the power to moving in a different direction. Do not direct your will toward the physical world. It avails you nothing and in the end defeats you. However, there's one very important place for you to exercise will, and that is in your choice of thoughts. So will only matters in your choice of thought. and or thoughts. When you retreat into your center of consciousness, to the place where you become but an observer, you may will the type of thoughts that cross your consciousness. Here's the basis of the law of attraction. Whatever you will to think, you think. Whatever type of thought you choose is automatically attracted to you. It is therefore will, which is the basis of the law of attraction, but will to think right only, not will to change the objects and circumstances of your physical world through thought power or physical action. Deliberately guard your thoughts. Deliberately guard your thoughts. Deliberately choose to think only those thoughts which are in the image of your true desire. Refuse to accept any others. By this correct application of will on the mental plane, the outside world grows into the image of your desire. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. It is founded in our thoughts. It is made up of our thoughts. Let the wise man guard his thoughts. There is no fear in him while he is watchful. Let the wise man guard his thoughts. There is no fear in him while he is watchful. Attraction is mental choice. It is will to think right that attracts the proper thoughts. These thoughts move across your center of consciousness, are taken into you and accepted. From that point, the law of creation is invoked, and whatever you have accepted will be created for you in the physical world. The law of attraction is neither more nor less than the law of attracting thoughts, and it is done by a process of choice. Whatever you choose to think is sent to you from the limitless reaches of universal intelligence. These thoughts, once having been accepted by you, will manifest in the physical world. Willing to think the right thoughts is the basis of all accomplishment, all vigor, all success, all health, all happiness. It is from here, this point of first choice, that everything in the universe starts. It is first cause, consciousness making a choice. It is the primal question of all creation. What will you think? Once the choice is made, your life is but a reflection of your thoughts made manifest. You choose every circumstance and thing about you in the first choice when you decide what you will think. Thought constitutes the greatness in man. The world is my idea. Matter has no existence independent of mental perception. Mind is the mighty mover. Mind is the mighty mover. Mind is the mighty mover. What will you think? The choice is yours and yours alone. The only choice which you have in your life, through it all things will be delivered to you for good or evil according to your choice. For the mighty power of the universal subconscious mind will create in the physical world the image of your thought. Such is its law and its nature, and it can do nothing else. Hell or heaven are choices you make for yourself by your thought. The universal subconscious mind knows neither. It only answers your thought. The path to illumination. The path to illumination. All dignity lies in thought. By it, we must elevate ourselves, and not by space and time, which we cannot fill. These are only two kinds of people who can be called reasonable. Let me say that again. There are only two kinds of people who can be called reasonable. Those who serve God with all their heart because they know him, and those who seek him with all their heart because they do not know him. The first man is both reasonable and happy. The second is reasonable and unhappy. But a man who neither knows God nor seeks him is foolish as well as unhappy. Therefore, the greatest adventure is life in life. The greatest adventure in life is to come to know the universal subconscious mind for its infinite power and to learn how to use this power to fill our lives with good and abundance. At the end of such a path lies a magnificent spiritual awakening, a transfiguration, a key to life's mysteries, an understanding of the meaning, all things indwelling in God, God indwelling in all things indwelling in God, and God indwelling in all things indwelling in God, and God dwelling in all things. The key itself is only three words, words which have no magic of themselves, but contain such an astounding significance that only a fully prepared mind may grasp it. You will do well to ponder on what this key might be. Search the quotation for possible meanings and dwell on them during your meditation periods, if anyone at all does this, because I'm currently doing it. So I am in expectation. And then after that, I'm supposed to relax and let it come. Illumination may come before you finally get it. That's if you're truly in pursuit. Or another way to say that is that you're truly in expectation through thought, conviction, creates faith. Mind and action. Life is dynamic. All about you are the great evidences of nature's eternal process of becoming things. Nothing remains static. That means everything changes. Wherever you look, your eyes see movement, flow, and change. Birth and death are the rhythms by which nature reaches ever upward, seeking constantly, seeking. Know, learn, build. Know, learn, build. Know, learn, build. These awesome commands issue from every bud, flower, egg, bush, tree, in a crescendo of evolving life. In view of this busy universe of ours, perhaps it seems strange that you are told that the path to power and accomplishment lies in getting your physical body quiet and working only with your mind. Like so many others, you feel you should thrust yourself into the midst of the fray, take and grab, and fight for what you want. I see it all the time. When Jesus said, those who take up the sword die by the sword, he wasn't talking about soldiers only. For whomever enters aggressively into life with the aim of taking by force or cleverness will find himself dealt with in the same way. See it in Tucson. I see it in Phoenix. I see it in Baltimore. I see it in New York. I see it every place that I've been, including Indianapolis, Indiana. Since life is bigger than you, the final victor is not always obvious. Do not be concerned with action. Action is nature. Life and movement are synonymous. Concern yourself rather with guidance for your action, such as who do you listen to? Know that all action springs from thought. That when your thought is true, so will your action be. Action which is governed action which is governed solely by stimuli received from the outer world is false action and can result in nothing other than the frustration of your desires. You dissipate your energies every time you attack an obstacle or a circumstance as a purely physical thing. No man is big enough to do anything by himself. The most frantic of your energies cannot change a wave of the sea, or the color of the grass, or the spread of a tree. Man who made himself not, who knoweth himself not, who lives amongst phantoms that he know nothing of. What ignorance possesses him that he should attempt to mold the world by force? Breonna and George Floyd, what has been done to them, and it's still going down. When will this stop? That's why I'm studying this. Whenever he looks, he sees the work of a power greater than he is. He cannot fight this power. He can only attune himself to it, work in accord with it. Thus, it is true action we are concerned with, and not action for action's sake. True action springs from true thought, and true thought springs from a man's connecting himself in meditation with the universal subconscious mind. He moves with God, and God moves with power, and his action is rewarded. The great men of this world accomplish in an hour what other mortals accomplish in a year. Yet they are not more active. Their activity is guided, powerful, sure, because they are directed to their objectives by the unlimited resources and power of the universal subconscious mind. To such men, lack, limitation, failure, and disease are barely possible of understanding. They can scarcely conceive of them. The legend of the go-getter. This world of ours does not belong to the go-getter. It never has, and it never will. The frantic man who runs back and forth, chasing power or prestige or fame, is assured of one thing only: bad health. The world he fights can never the world he can never subdue. Ulcers eat holes in his stomach. Tired heart muscles give way. Taut nerves come unstrung. Nobody can beat the universe. And that is what the go-getter sets out to do. He cannot be successful because he is too vain. Having no humility, he does not know that all things are done by a mighty Lord, an unknown sage that inhabits all places and all times, everywhere at once. Without this knowledge, the go-getter is a molecule vibrating, rebounding crazily in the limits he has imposed upon himself. He has no design to his life because he does not see the design of life itself. Disdain the life of a go-getter. Move with God, move with dignity and surety. Give no thought to action, for thought produces action, as naturally as light comes from the sun. All things are decided in the mind, and all decisions are carried out by the invincible universal mind. There is only one life, one mind, one I, one self manifesting infinite number of things and beings. Let me say that one more time. There's only one life, one mind, one I, one self manifesting an infinite number of things and beings. According to your awareness, you approach the power of this self. Know that first cause is within. First decision is made by choosing which thoughts you will think. Whatever you think will manifest in your life. Think only positively. Refuse to accept negative circumstance as having any final reality. Keep your thoughts steadfast on the good. Maintain your image with the fuel of your faith, and you will discover a universe of limitless supply and limitless reward. constant adventure, and everlasting love. Know that every idea produces itself on the physical plane in an effect exactly like the cause and effect. Place no limits on your thinking. All things are possible. The moment they are considered probable, they become certainty. Space itself is only that which accommodates movement. Matter itself is only that which illustrates movement. Space and matter and movement are nothing more than intelligence working with, through, and upon itself. Everything is made of this intelligence. It becomes all things. It can become anything. Now, my time is about to be up. I'm going to set it down. I still wanted to say at the end of this video that this video is dedicated to my son, Robert. Hopefully one day he will see it. I'm not sure if he will. I pray that he will. At the end of the day, I'm going to keep doing what it is I'm doing. I'm going to stay in prayer. I'm going to ask the Lord to guide and direct my life and to realize that I'm no longer alone. I don't need any homeboys. I don't need no close friends. I don't need nobody in my life but God, because as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, God will send me the people that I need in my inner circle. Until the next video.